Hey guys, how y'all doing today? My name is Franchise Fanatic and welcome back to the channel. And first and foremost, pardon my French, pardon my Chinese, my Japanese, my whatever, but guys, Zack Snyder, the Snyder Cut, he fucking did it, alright? He did it. It's been so long and I know it's that's the only thing I can say. He effing did it. And let me just say why, because man, first of all, this is going to be a spoiler review, but I'm kind of freaking out right now because I'm happy and I'm also sad. Very sad because this movie kind of... Well, first of all, let me say that I did review the original Justice League back in 2017, back, 2 days ago, but it came out in 2017, and I thought it was a good movie, and I stick by that. I think that the Justice League is a good movie. I don't have any real... I mean, it's not great, but I mean, it's not horrible. And seeing this, though, man, 4 freaking hours, man. I think I finished it at, what, like midnight or something? So I was tired as fudge. I had a pounding headache. I still have the headache. But it was such a good movie. It kind of reestablished what the DCEU meant to me. You know what I mean? Because I was always excited. I love Man of Steel. I love Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, all that. I love them all mostly. Wonder Woman's probably my least favorite, but I do love them all. And I think that, like, watching this, I'm like, man, they really... Zack Snyder's freaking good, you know what I mean? I saw Watchmen, and I saw Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, and, parts of the Justice League, but I do think that this is the best DCEU film. I mean, it's up there. I think it's tied with Batman v Superman. Aquaman is my favorite to watch, but in terms of how it's made, Batman v Superman and Justice League Snyder Cut, and then maybe Aquaman, like, just a little bit down. But they're all good movies. But man, Justice League Snyder Cut is effing amazing. It is so freaking good. 4 hours long compared to the 2-hour version, and it's one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. It's just that easy. It is one of the best. Hopefully, I think it's going to be on Blu-ray around May, around the end of May, I hope, because I really want to freaking own it. I actually bought HBO Max, especially just to watch this, and then we're going to cancel it or whatever, but, I have Disney Plus, that's the big thing, but, I will be, I downloaded it, and we're like, oh, it's at 7 o'clock, we'll watch it, and, it was fantastic. It really freaking was. Basically, it took scenes from the 2017 version and essentially made it better. There are shots and scenes of the 2017 version, I don't know, like basically everything you see in the Justice League 2017 is in this movie, but it's either altered with the color grading or the CGI is better. Steppenwolf has a new design, there's new lines, so they took out a lot of the cringy dialogue and kind of the jokiness. Some of the jokes in the 2017 version I actually really freaking liked. I thought it was kind of cool how, Flash was kind of funny. I think that the whole brunch thing, I don't really have a problem with that. I mean, it's stupid, but that's him. That's the character of Barry Allen. But one of the good scenes in Justice League 2017 is where Batman's kind of, Flash is like, I've only pushed people and run away. And Batman's like, save one person. And he's like, huh? He's like, you'll know what to do. So he saves one guy and then he goes back and saves the other one, I think that was a good scene. So there are some scenes in Justice League 2017 that are actually good that are not in the Snyder Cut. So a lot of people are telling me, oh, Franchise, there's nothing good in the 2017 version. And I would disagree. I do think that this version is 10 effing times superior. Way superior. But there are moments in the 2017 version that are good. However, I do think that this... If you were expecting this, like if you haven't seen it, first of all, don't, because I'm getting into spoilers, but if you haven't seen this movie and you're like, oh, it's just a remaster of Justice League, take for example, Lego City Undercover came out for the Wii U 2013. Good game, I had it for the Wii U, it was fun. But then they remastered it in 2017 for PS4, PC, Xbox One, Switch, all that. And it's essentially the same game, they just added a player 2, and then they added better graphics, and it ran better, and, technically it was better. And, they did not do that with Justice League. The 2017 version is the same movie to a degree as the Snyder Cut, but the Snyder Cut, not like I said, I can't even talk, I'm just so excited. Not only is this version of the Snyder Cut, they don't just take scenes and, oh, we twisted the colors or, we made the CGI better. They do that, but they also add things to it that really make the scenes better. Like, there's a few scenes I don't like. I think that when Aquaman goes into the water and that weird foreign people, they're just singing, they're like, no, for like freaking 20 minutes, whatever. You know, I get it. It probably has some kind of significant thing. I think the new edition of the new Wonder Woman, you know, instead of the instead of that, they have like the weird like oh yeah, like the girl singing that thing. I'm not too fond of that. It's not bad. I'm not gonna, you know, take it down a peg on my score for that. I just personally don't like it. I don't think it's actually a bad thing. I got used to it, you know, because the movie's effing 4 hours long. You better get used to it because, you know, Wonder Woman could blink or sneeze and they'll play that. You know, they're just ear destroy your ear. But I do think that it grew on me a little bit. But the songs, and I get what they're doing. You know, Zack Snyder very much is kind of a not necessarily strange, but he's kind of a eccentric type of filmmaker. You know what I mean? Like they had the Joker Jesus, which they didn't do anything with. I don't know why he even did that, but there's certain scenes where like Aquaman in the Justice League version when he saves the dude and he takes the beer or the whiskey and he like throws it and it's a badass shot of the water. In the 2017 version, there's like a rock song which pays tribute to his character, but in this, it's like a really dramatic like opera song. It doesn't work at all. So I think that there are some moments that are, you know, literally 99% of this movie is better than 2017 version. And again, that's me saying I like the 2017 version, but there's a 1% of just these certain scenes that they kind of alter or change the music, or they change the tone, or they take out a funny line and they add something serious. It works because Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and this Snyder Cut, they are very serious. You know, it's like Ninjago season 1 to 10. It's serious, it's drama, it's action. There's a little bit of you know, comedy in there, but like, you know, the one scene where Batman gets the big bulldozer when Steppenwolf is fighting at the dam or the tunnel or whatever, and in the 2017 version, Batman goes, "I didn't bring a sword." And it was funny, because it worked, you know. But in this, he just goes, "My turn." You know, it's not really funny, you know what I mean? So they're kind of doing these different things. Like Superman, when he comes back from the dead, he just bitch slaps Batman. And it was funny, and I actually enjoyed that scene, because it showed the audience that Superman, if he wanted to, he could F up Batman with his pinky finger, you know what I mean? He's Superman, you know? Boom! Just B-slap him, and he goes flying into the cop car. In this version, he kind of just like super... You know, it was, of course, more awesome and more badass, but he just got, you know, laser shoots him and he's blocking it. And it's cooler, but I think that a lot of people hate on 2017 Justice League, and they're like, "Oh, this is way better." But, you know, there are things that are better, but I do think there are things that the 2017 movie did better than Snyder Cut. But all in all, this movie, yes, another negative I gotta mention is the aspect ratio. Again, I'm not gonna take it down a peg because of that, because the aspect ratio really isn't a mistake or a bad thing, but you know, watching this on my flat screen TV, it's not the biggest screen in the world, but it's a good sized flat screen, and you know, you have like this, you know, like the area, and then it's just like a little box, you know. It's like, well, I know why he did it. You know, he's eccentric, and he's like, "Oh, widescreen theater," but it looks stupid, you know what I mean? When I first watched it, it really looked bad, and by the end of the 4 hours, you know, everything good I could say about this movie, the one bad thing was a stupid aspect ratio. It sucked. I hate it, and hopefully on Blu-ray it's fixed. If not, you have it. Big deal. It is kind of, the one good thing about the aspect ratio is that it does kind of make, it makes it feel more rare. You know what I mean? Like, I have a butt ton of movies, and I don't own a single movie that has that type of aspect ratio. So I think that is really cool, and it kind of makes this more of a rare and unique find. You know what I mean? But it's not ideal, you know. I don't want every movie to be this, you know what I mean, this aspect ratio box. But still, the new scenes that they added, like Martian Manhunter, he's cool. I think I literally freaked the fudge out, because that trailer had Martha Kent with red eyes, and we're like, "Oh shit, Martha's evil!" And that didn't happen. Essentially, from what I can believe, the scene where Martha visits Lois in the Snyder Cut, and then it's revealed it's Martian Manhunter, and then it's revealed it's that black dude, I don't know his name. He's part of the government. He was in Man of Steel, and I think he was in Batman v Superman. Yeah, he was in the Ultimate Edition with the whole bullet thing. But they kind of play that, and I literally lost my mind. I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Because the Snyder Cut really isn't a new movie. It is and it isn't, because you know what's going to happen in the end, but they add new scenes in between. So to have Martian Manhunter, you know, he wasn't in the 2017 version at all, you know, at all. So to have that in there was really freaking cool. And of course, he shows up in the end during the whole Nightmare sequence part 2 with Joker. Jared Leto's back, really effing cool. I was one of the people that said, you know, I really like Jared Leto Joker. I like the movie Suicide Squad. I don't give a fudge. I like the movie. You know, the extended version is really, really good. And I think that the Suicide Squad coming out this year hopefully will be good as well. But they do have all these aspects where it's like, okay, Jared Leto's back. The whole freaking internet hates him for some reason. I don't know. But I do think that he was good in this movie. He wasn't the gangster, because, again, it is in the far future. And it's interesting to see. But another kind of negative, which really isn't taking it down a peg, but I think WB, man, they hate Zack Snyder. They hate him with a friggin' passion, dude. Because I think he was being interviewed, and he was like, oh, the Snyder Cut, the version that I made, the 4-hour movie that I'm reviewing, is not canon to the DCEU. It's not canon. Which means it doesn't matter. Which means the 4-hour movie that the whole internet's going crazy over doesn't freaking matter. The 2017 Justice League, the Justice League, that one's canon. The one we just saw, the one that's on HBO Max and probably coming to DVD in late May, which I want, I will be unboxing if it is real, it is not canon. As far as I'm aware, that's what they said in the interviews. They're like, oh, it's not canon. So, what sucks is that you have all these, you got freaking Martian Manhunter, and you've got the Nightmare sequence, and it's actually going somewhere. We have effing Darkseid now. He's awesome, you know what I mean? He's like the DC Thanos right now, and or the DC Palpatine or Snoke or whatever. And it's not going to go anywhere, And if it does, it won't go anywhere in a canon way. So I think that, it's a bummer, because this is, again, I mentioned this at the beginning, but the first time DCEU really captured me more than just, oh, that was a cool movie. I like DC. I love DC. But seeing, Aquaman or Shazam or Birds of Prey or whatever, I walked away from it going, oh, that was a good movie, or oh, that was okay. But this, I'm like, wow, I can't wait to see what happens next. And then they're like, it's not canon, screw you. So it kind of sucked. But overall, this experience, man, 2 hours and 2 minutes longer than 2017. Great movie. Really, it is one of the best comic book films ever. It's crazy. You know what I mean? They did it. They freaking did it. Like No Man's Sky, Battlefront 2, Sonic the Hedgehog. All of these things, they got better over time. And this is not a remaster of 2017. This is a brand new remake, It follows the same type of story, but it gives character development to all the characters. You know what I mean? Like, you walk away and you're like, oh, Flash did something. They have this big long shot at the end, at the dam or whatever, in the Russia or wherever they are, and it shows each character for like 1 to 2 seconds. And it's this big long pan, you know what I mean? Big shot. And you like, I was literally sitting there thinking, freaking midnight, and I'm like, Flash did something. Cyborg did something. Wonder Woman did something. Superman, Batman, Aquaman, they all did something. Justice League 2017, good movie, but there's not a lot of character development, you know what I mean? Like, my favorite movie of all time is The Last Jedi, and one of the big reasons why is because Luke Skywalker gets character development, He starts the movie broken, and he ends the movie a hero, a legend, you know what I mean? And it's easily, Luke Skywalker is easily my #1 favorite character in all of franchise media ever. And Justice League reminded me of The Last Jedi, because each character failed at something, or was going to fail, or was thinking about choosing to fail, and then they decided to rise from that failure. Yoda said, the greatest teacher failure is exactly what that. Every character learns a lesson, and every character grows. So when they show that final shot of all these characters after, defeating Steppenwolf or whatever, you actually care, One of the big reasons I disliked a part about Justice League 2017 was that, I mentioned it in the other video, but quickly, if you look at the MCU, right, you had the Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, Hulk, and then you had the Avengers, So when you watch the Avengers 1, you're like, okay, I saw all these other movies, so now I know their character. But DCEU, they said, F it, we're just going to put Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg in this movie for the first time. It's the big hero team up, and it didn't work because there wasn't enough time. But because the movie's 4 friggin' hours, it's not yet the first Avengers for me, because again, you need more time than 4 hours, but it's better than 2, you know what I mean? I watched it and I was like, alright, they're doing a good job. Zack Snyder, he knows what he's doing. There are literally scenes, like the whole opening of Justice League 2017, that song where it's like a Watchmen style, that ain't even there, there's things they completely cut, the whole Romanian family or whatever, that I think was okay, but Joss, or whoever did that in the 2017 version, they executed it poorly, but it was a good idea. And that's just completely, they just said F it, and Zach was like, no, we're just cutting it, you know what I mean? So literally, and I had him, I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss it, because it was 4 hours, and that Romanian family wasn't even there. It's like, where did they go, And he just said, screw it, he just cut them from the film. And the whole end battle scene, yeah, it's recolored and reshot, but it's just everything about this movie works. You know, I'm not too keen on some of the music. I know what he was doing, just didn't work for me. You know, maybe when I rewatch it again, who knows, on Blu-ray or what have you. But this is easily one of the best comic book films I've ever seen. The amount of care, you know, a 4-hour movie. I mean, the longest movie I saw before this was Return of the King, Lord of the Rings 3, coming in like 3.5 hours almost. And, you know, a long movie could be long in a bad way, where you're like, get the hell going, you know. It's so boring, but Zack Snyder really cares about DC. He cares about giving every single character their time and their due. You know what I mean? He's not going to shove them to the side and be like, oh, you're not important, but you are, you know. Instead of focusing on the Romanian family, we're going to focus on character development, you know what I mean? And that is good. There's a certain level of prioritizing things in your film to make the theme or message of the film stand out. And Zack Snyder understands that. Say what you want about him, but he understands filmmaking, and he understands how to create a good, well-crafted story. And that's what this movie is. It is a 4-hour epic. It is the Avengers Endgame and like the Rise of Skywalker and Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2 at World's End. It is the big movie for the DCEU franchise. This is it, guys. And if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you're watching, because I just spoiled some of it, but you know, get HBO Max. Do whatever you gotta do. Watch it. 4 hours. It's well worth your time. If you are a DC fan, if you call yourself a DC fan, you owe it to yourself to watch this movie. Again, there's not too much bad about it, and I really do think it... I mean, here's, you know, Zack Snyder's... Justice League 2017 is, like, right here by my chest, and effing Zack Snyder was, like, above my head. You know, it's, like, through the roof of my house. You know, it's just... It's that good. Again, I do enjoy 2017 Justice League. I think it's a good movie. Not great, but the Snyder Cut made it even better. You know what I mean? It's not a remaster, it's a remake, and he did a dang good job of it, and I cannot wait to see what he does next. Sadly, it's not canon, so I don't think any of these plot lines, Darkseid, Nightmare, none of this crap's going to go anywhere, but it was still fun to see it, and, you know, really interesting to see the director's version and his, you know, his vision of this franchise. And it's effing incredible, man. It really is. I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray. I hope they put it on Blu-ray. I'm going to get it somehow. And it was insane. You know what I mean? It really was. It was it was like a moment. You know what I mean? Like Endgame, Rise of Skywalker, these big franchise theatrical moments that, you know, I remember going, oh man, I remember being there during that. This is this. You know, I was in my freaking family room watching Snyder Cut, and it was epic. You know what I mean? It really was. It was just so good. And I think that the waiting was worth it. I think that the begging for Zack to do it, I think that was good. Who knows if they'll do the Ayer cut, but like I said, guys, this is me, you know, coming from a dude that likes 2017 Justice League. You know, I'm not a hater. This movie is 10 times better than that. You know what I mean? It really is. This is like the Last Jedi of DC. You know, or the Endgame of DC, you know, or whatever, you know, it's that good. So again, really, if we're talking like actual negatives, again, I would say that there are some scenes in the 2017 version that are better than this version, and some of the songs could be a little bit weird. There was one scene during Atlantis where Aquaman was talking to Mera, and it was, Volko, and it was just kind of blurry. I don't know if my internet was weird or if the film got kind of weird, I don't know, but, you know, if I get it on Blu-ray, it'll be, you know, HD the whole way through. And I have good internet, so I don't know if it was the film or what, but it was a masterpiece. It really, really is. And, you know, the DCEU is not as good as Star Wars or the MCU to me, but it is good. And this movie elevated that to, like, you know, God-tier level. You know, like, now I'm excited more than ever, man, for DC movies, and I cannot wait for the future. This was a great movie. I'm really glad I got to see it. This was like a big witness, you know. So without spoiling it, in the comments, tell me if you enjoyed it or not. Just say you liked it or you didn't like it or what have you. Again, because, you know, it's fairly new. Not everyone saw it yet. Still, guys, this was a great movie. I loved every freaking second of it for the most part. Again, some things are worse and better than, you know, you take each or, but I do think, to end with, I do think that a lot of people are going to say, oh, the Snyder Cut is so good, and they're just going to toss the Joss Whedon, the 2017 version, they're going to throw it in the garbage, you know. We don't need that, because the Snyder Cut's here. But honestly, I watched 2017 version in the morning, and then I watched the Snyder Cut at night. Both movies in the same day, just so I could really get a feel of it. And honestly, I got to tell you, man, like I said, I know the Snyder Cut's better. I know it is. But it's just, there's something about watching the 2017 version and then the Snyder Cut back-to-back, almost back-to-back, in the same day. And, yeah, you know what I mean? There are certain scenes that are better. You know, it's effing crazy. But it's true, you know, some movies, this scene is better than that, or this scene is in both versions. So it's really cool, and it's neat to know that we have two versions of the same movie. One complete vision, one half vision, but it still was a great experience. Anyway, guys, Justice League Zack Snyder cut is amazing. Hopefully it comes on Blu-ray soon. I cannot wait to freaking own it, guys. Again, it's one of the best DC films I've ever seen. I mean, it's up there with Joker, Batman v Superman, Aquaman. It's that effing good, guys. It's really great. So, again, coming from a massive DC fan, this was everything I wanted and more. And 4 hours long, man. It was the longest movie I've ever seen, but every single second of this movie was great. Tell me, again, what you think about it in the comments without spoiling it. Because, you know, again, not everyone has seen it yet. But again, guys, this is a great film. I can't wait to see more of it. And thank you, Zach. You know, you did a good job, man. You did a really good job. Thank you, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.